IBCM Ethical OS, Delhi as civilizational licensor by 2047. From policy hub to governance purity. Operationalizing Quantum SOS Governance, subject-object self-governance in Delhi's industrial policy. Corporate norm, corporate management, orbiter mission.
Copyright, Corporate MOM, Corporate Management Orbiter Mission.
Substance over simulation. In an era where simulation masquerades as governance and automation is mistaken for wisdom, IBCM offers a different path. This is not a manifesto of resistance. It is a manifesto of radiance, where governance is not simulated, but substantiated. The policy brief to Delhi Commission of Industry on Delhi Industrial Policy 2025-2035. Executive summary. Delhi's draft industrial policy 2025 to 2035 positions the city as a global hub for services, tech, and clean industries. The IBCM Ethical OS framework elevates this ambition by embedding ethical coherence, valuation purity, and royalty redistribution. Together, they form the Quantum SOS Governance platform. Key recommendations: adoption. Formally adopt Ethical OS as Delhi's SOS governance standard. Valuation enhancement. Recognize intangible capital, IPR and R&D, as valuation drivers. Royalty redistribution. Shift from cash incentives to royalty-linked prosperity. SVR, societal value redistribution. Establish Delhi Sovereign Value Fund for welfare, innovation, civilizational development. Strategic outcome. Delhi transitions from a policy-driven industrial hub to a civilizational licensor of Quantum SOS Governance, aligning industry growth with societal prosperity and ethical coherence. Delhi's industrial policy. Delhi's industrial policy has undergone a major strategic shift to align with its status as a modern metropolis, focusing heavily on non-polluting, high technology, and service-oriented industries. The upcoming draft, Delhi Industrial Policy 2025 to 35, aims to transform the city into a global business hub by fostering innovation-driven sectors and improving the ease of doing business. It is an overview of the key components of Delhi's Industrial Policy 2025 to 2035. Key objectives: shift to service and tech, promote high-tech industries, including artificial intelligence, AI, big data, gaming, animation, biotechnology, IT and ITES, and professional services, BFSI. That stands for banking, financial services, and insurance. Critical areas in any city, in fact. Clean industrial ecosystem. Strictly promote non-polluting and green industries to align with environmental regulations. Number 3. Infrastructure upgradation. Redevelop non-conforming informal industrial clusters and enhance planned estates using public-private partnerships, PPP. Job generation. Move from low-skilled manufacturing to high-skilled knowledge-based employment, supporting the walk-to-work concept. Let me continue on the Delhi's industrial policy. Key features and initiatives. Financial incentives. A proposed rupees 400 crore venture capital fund, 50% capital reimbursement of fixed capital investment up to 50 crore rupees, and 6% interest subsidy for 5 years. GST waivers. 100% state GST reimbursement for 5 years for specific sectors. Number 3, plug and play facilities. Promoting plug and play models in industrial areas to support startups, MSMEs, and high-tech clusters, reducing initial setup hurdles. Number 4, simplified regulation. Setting up a single window mechanism for quick approvals with automatic sanctions for delays. The policy plans to reduce approval times and simplify GST compliance. Next, new industrial hubs. Development of modernized industrial zones in areas like Kanjiwala, Ranikera, and Baprola, along the specialized electronics startup parks. Focus on night economy. Boosting services that operate in the evening to maximize space and productivity. Finally, on Delhi's industrial policy, identified focus sectors. Number 1, frontier tech, AI, data analytics, fintech, and gaming. Number 2, modern services, hospitality, research and development, and healthcare. Number 3, knowledge-based units, IT and ITES. The policy is designed to address regulatory bottlenecks such as slow registration and multiple agency approvals, and is expected to be implemented through Delhi's industry policy that proposes financial incentives to promote AI fintech. Operationalizing Quantum SOS Governance in Delhi's industry policy. I'll give you the 4 steps ladder to Nirvana. Context setting. Delhi's policy rightly focuses on clean, high-tech, and service-oriented industries. The Ethical OS striker, Viksit-Delhi 2047, a Delhi industry, and Delhi societal benefits, transforms this ambition into a governance architecture. It ensures that every industrial act carries ethical accountability and fiscal transparency. Key recommendations. The 4 steps to Nirvana. Adoption. Formally adopt Ethical OS as Delhi's SOS governance standard. Number 2, Valuation Enhancement. Recognize intangible capital, IPR, R&D, as valuation drivers. Number 3, royalty redistribution. Shift from cash incentives to royalty-linked prosperity. Number 4, SVR, societal value redistribution. Establish Delhi Sovereign Value Fund for welfare, innovation, civilization, and development. The comparative framework. Let us visualize the 4 steps to Nirvana. Adoption, valuation enhancement, royalty redistribution, and societal value redistribution. Each step is not just a policy milestone, it's a quantum leap in Delhi's ethical evolution. Let me take you the comparative framework. Dimension, Delhi Industrial Policy 2025-2035, IBCM Ethical OS striker, SOS Governance, and alignment or gap. In dimension, I am putting these 4 steps. Adoption. Delhi Industrial Policy 2025-35 focuses on service, tech, and clean industries. Simplified regulation, single window approvals. Whereas IBCM Ethical OS Striker SOS Governance, formal adoption of Ethical OS as SOS governance standard, embedding ethical accountability, which is lacking all the time. Alignment and gap. Policy emphasizes, policy here is interstate policy, ease of doing business but lacks explicit ethical OS adoption. Needs integration of governance purity. Valuation enhancement. The policy, Delhi industrial policy is incentives, venture capital fund, GST waivers, subsidies, focus on R&D and frontier tech. IBCM Ethical OS, recognition of intangible capital, IPR, patents, R&D as valuation drivers. The alignment or gap, strong overlap. Delhi policy incentivizes R&D, but Ethical OS adds structured valuation metrics, intellectual value capital and performance value capital. Together is called intangible value capital. That is, human-centric organization is being brought in. Then, royalty redistribution. Financial incentives or cash-based subsidies and reimbursement for the Delhi industrial policy. For IBCM, royalties linked to incremental valuation, not cash transfers. Equity-linked prosperity. Alignment and gap. Gap is that Delhi policy is transactional. Ethical OS introduces sustainable royalty redistribution tied to growth. Finally, societal value redistribution (SVR). For Delhi industrial policy, suggested job generation, walk to work, night economy, a green ecosystem. IBCM Ethical OS, royalties flow into Delhi Sovereign Value Fund, financing welfare, innovation, civilizational development for centuries to come. The gap or alignment. Policy addresses social outcomes indirectly. Ethical OS institutionalizes SVR through Sovereign Value Fund. If Norway can do it, so can Bharat. Delhi industry as a valuation engine. Under Ethical OS, Delhi's industrial clusters become valuation clusters. Intangible capital, intellectual property, patents, R&D becomes measurable, tradable, and licensable. This is how Delhi's industry transforms from production to valuation. Next, Delhi society has a royalty beneficiary. Royalty redistribution ensures that prosperity flows back to society. Instead of subsidies, we link growth to valuation. Royalties on incremental value fund welfare, innovation, and civilizational development through the Delhi Sovereign Value Fund. Next, Viksit-Delhi 2047 as a civilizational licensor. By 2047, Delhi must not only be a global business hub, it must be a licensor of governance purity, just as Norway's oil fund turned natural wealth into societal equity. Delhi's ethical OS will turn industrial growth into civilizational capital. Strategic recommendations. 4 imperatives guide this transformation. Number 1. Adopt ethical OS as Delhi's SOS governance standard. Number 2. Integrate valuation metrics for intangible capital. Number 3. Implement royalty redistribution to convert growth into equity. Number 4. Create Delhi Sovereign Value Fund to finance welfare and innovation. Contact of the people knowledge database. vibrant Viksit Bharat 2047. If you look at any company anywhere in the world, we have hierarchical one-man call center. You have board of directors. The most important person in a company by medical culture is the CEO and the workforce. And then you have E, earnings. And this all, only the P&L and balance sheet. It's quite amazing how we lack the information system based on only the thing which is quantitative elements of management. Here in the CREAM report, we are looking at the corporate governance, risk management, accounting quality, management quality. There are so many factors. So this chart gives in totality all that is required for a human-centric organization structure. I'll explain to you the difference between the accounting ecosystem that we have and going toward accountability ecosystem. What is very important that we are trying to do here is establishing politics culture. In a company, we have the corporate culture. Here we are trying to bring about in Delhi Ethical OS a policy brief that we have been discussing so far in this particular presentation. And we got to have the policies set by the state, because the Delhi, this is a proof of concept state we have arrived at as Delhi. So if that is being analyzed, and we can see the difference between accounting ecosystem and establish an accountability ecosystem, it is indeed the 4 steps to Nirvana. Take a look, the comparative analysis between the two. A comparative framework. What is prevalent today's accounting ecosystem? What I am suggesting is to accountability ecosystem. The first one I put it in the Niti Aayog. The second one I am putting in my own IBCM Ethical OS. UCC is Uniform Corporate Code. Take into account each and every company anywhere in the world. So there are 2 areas which I'd like to look at and give you the information. The philosophy of accounting ecosystem is predictive oversight, simulation based, early warning system, systems and mission centric. IBCM is ex ante activation, real time alignment of energy and goals. It is human centric. The second feature is governance metric. Ex post facto, that's what you do, P&L and balance sheet. Object governance, based on historical data, single slit governance, this is what EII is all about, and algorithm scenarios. Whereas IBCM Ethical OS, live accountability, velocity rating, SOS subject, object, self, double slit governance. Double slit is important. Tracking daily growth rate, CDGR, and daily reduction rate, like an ODA match. Everlasting metrics and benchmarks, science-based, metaphysics, physics, and quantum physics. Orientation, accounting ecosystem is object-oriented, transactional, quantitative, and object governance is used. Accountability ecosystem is subject-oriented, non-transactional, qualitative, and subject governance is used. Extended to the society, self-governance is used. That's what it is, SOS. So when you look at the ethical OS, we take into account both. That is subject, object, as well as self-governance. Society becomes crucial and critical for the first time sitting with the board of directors. KPIs, accounting ecosystem is simulation-based oversight KPIs. KPIs is reactive, whereas accountability ecosystem, substance over simulation. N-dimensional KPIs converted into N KPIs of a single dimension impacts. Enabling GDP level transparency is proactive. primary denominator for accounting is financial capital, focuses on budget, cost, and project parts. For accountability is human energy, uses the individual's energy as the core denominator of value. Strategic goal for accounting is risk management, is managing the horses bolting via simulation. Goals are, I would rather say not several, is infinite. Prosperity pipeline, activating MSMEs and communities through SYS standards. Goal congruence, single goal, optimize performance for everybody within a company of 700,000 people, workforce, single goal. Global positioning for accounting, participant, competitive as a low cost manufacturing hub. That's what we have been doing for years. This is the biggest area for IT. Licensor, global provider of high-tech governance technology and trust. This is a major one for accountability ecosystem. If IBCM Ethical OS is being adopted by any state. Outcome, automation, accounting, improving efficiency through existing digital processes. For accountability ecosystem is activation, measurable empowerment of every individual contributor. Nobody is forgotten. Empirical validation via Socratic AI dialogues. The challenge. Following a research publication, global AI leaders were invited to challenge the work, mirroring challenges to Schrödinger and Einstein. There is HACCP of quantum computing. The respondent, Groken XAI, accepted. The verdict, AI leaders accept that IBCM Ethical OS is the only alternative to unlock 96% of value. 1352 exchanges till Jan 2026. Now it is nearly about 1600. They're all there in X, what we used to call as a Twitter. Everything is valuable. Everything is quantitative and qualitative elements of management are being discussed. It's a very good brainstorming session. What the challenges that they were asking me, and I could give an answer. So it's an important one. The qualitative and quantitative elements are stress testing. That is a validation, and that is a verdict also. 96% of value is being, there's no other alternative other than IBCM Ethical OS. Methodology being validated. Take a look. My closing remarks. Delhi's destiny is not just industrial, it is civilizational. By adopting quantum SOS governance, we make Delhi the world's first ethical licensor of prosperity. Purity is coherence, and coherence is the quantum key to human governance.